A Fox 5 I-Team investigation has found many local school systems are not conducting basic safety tests on their artificial playing fields.
Senior I-Team reporter Dale Russell has reported on controversial turf bids in several counties. And tonight he's turning his attention to what parents worry about the most.
Yeah, and Dale, we're talking about, of course, the safety of their children.
That's, Russ, that's the first thing parents think about when they get out on the field. Football, soccer, lacrosse, all tough and at times dangerous sports. And if you're playing on artificial turf, there's a basic test that can be conducted, and it's recommended by the Synthetic Turf Council, and it determines how hard that playing field is. But who's doing it? When the cheering begins for high school football, parents are thinking about their kids' success and their kids' suffering.
It's something that's always caught us concerned as parents. It's a very, hardcore sport. Especially those frightening head and neck injuries.
So I would just hope that we're doing everything to keep all of the kids safe right now.
Our investigation found many metro area school systems aren't doing everything. In fact, we found many local high schools are ignoring a basic safety test recommended by the Synthetic Turf Council and conducted on artificial turf fields all across America. It is called a GMAX test, a fancy name for this simple yet intricate device that essentially tests how hard an artificial playing field is.
This will let you know right off the bat if the surface is soft enough.
Daniel Edmonds of Labosport can do all kinds of testing of artificial turf in the lab. He can check for longevity, bounce, failing fibers, and safety issues like knee and ankle injuries. Do a lot of school systems in this area ask you to do this?
No.
Do any?
No, not as yet.
And he conducts GMAX tests. Researchers have found 10% of all concussions happen when a player's head hits the field. And concussions are more serious on artificial turf. An international standards organization set a failing score on the GMAX test at 200. Any GMAX score over 200 could cause life-threatening head injuries, according to Penn State Center for Sports Surface Research. The NFL wants a score of 165 or lower.
It is hard to fail a GMAX test.
So if you fail this test,
you don't want to be playing on that field.
But when we surveyed metro area school systems, we found most schools don't have a regular GMAX testing plan. Cherokee County told us they ran a GMAX test on their fields when they were installed and plan to retest every 2 years. But Cherokee County is rare. Fayette and the city of Carrollton have done no GMAX testing. Cobb and Clayton told us they've not done regular testing since an initial test when the fields were installed. Fulton County said they only test at the end of the field's 8-year warranty. Surprise you that a lot of systems don't test?
It is surprising.
Atlanta public schools have a lot of artificial turf fields, some for more than a decade. They've never done GMAX testing. But in an answer to our survey, Atlanta claimed the school board approved a new GMAX testing plan at the beginning of August. We looked at the contract. GMAX testing is not mentioned. Then, just a few days ago, Atlanta's facilities director sent out an email to all the metro school systems asking if they knew anything about this GMAX testing. Does anyone have any experience, knowledge of impact testing of synthetic turf fields, he wrote. Do you test? How often? What tests do you use? Simple questions that have been around the industry for years. These Atlanta parents think it's high time the city and counties join the club.
It sounds like it's something that's important. It needs to happen for the safety of the kids. So yeah, it would be beneficial, I think, if Atlanta would take the extra initiative to do those tests. Absolutely.
If the school can't pay for it, certainly I would think our boosters would try to do something to make sure they're at least playing on a safe field.
Now, DeKalb County told us they did the GMAX testing on new fields installed during the past 3 years, and they plan to do regular GMAX testing, they say. Gwinnett County is just now considering putting in synthetic turf. They're going to put that matter before voters during a November referendum. Rosh, Shanae?
So Dale, just wondering, why wouldn't you get the testing done? Is it expensive?
Right.
No, it's not, in a word. I mean, if you had to do a lot of fields, maybe the cost could get up. We talked to a number of people, and you could get this test done for a few $100s up to, maybe $1,000. I mean, somewhere in that range. I thought it was going to be a lot more expensive test than it was, by mere fact, virtue of the fact that a lot of people weren't doing it. It was like, why are they not doing it? But no, you can get it done, I think, and most people would say a reasonable price.
Yeah, well, the number that jumped out in your story was 10% of concussions being caused potentially by the field. So it's something that's important to look
That's
into.
according to the research that we read, and that's a lot of head injuries.
Yeah. Dale, thanks very much.